And Domish, if they can shift some, if not all of those players, where will they look to strengthen?
Yeah, look, we should reiterate that the focus totally after they brought in Bryan Mbeumo was player sales. But having said that, throughout this transfer window, we have been saying that they are trying to strengthen in the number 9 position. They do want to bring in a striker. They have explored the conditions of a deal for a number of strikers, including Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, Victor Gyökeres of Sporting, who of course is on his way to Arsenal, Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea, though his price could be really prohibitive. And interestingly, RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko, who's been linked not only with Arsenal, but with Manchester United as well for the last 3 seasons or so. Now, the interesting thing about this is the director of recruitment at Manchester United is a gentleman called Christopher Vivell. He knows Sesko really, really well because he actually signed Sesko as a 16-year-old when he was at Red Bull Salzburg. So if you look at United's movements in this transfer window so far, the players that they brought in the forward areas, Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, Ruben Amorim wants them to play in the 2 number 10 roles. But significantly, they are both players who have had significant Premier League experience compared to some of the other signings that they made in the forward areas in recent seasons, the likes of Joshua Zirkzee, Rasmus Højlund and Anthony. You just get the impression that maybe Manchester United feel that they need to have learned lessons from what's happened in the past and bring in players who are ready to go in this transfer window. Exactly. But look, the potential recruitment of a striker, of a number 9, that is likely to happen later in the window, if at all. I'm not saying that is definitely going to happen, but United definitely in the market to bring one in.
Right, talking of strikers, next.
Latest Manchester United transfer news and gossip as Napoli striker Victor Osimhen continues to be linked with a move to Old Trafford. Victor Osimhen's future continues to be the subject of speculation amid links of a potential transfer to Manchester United. Osimhen spent last season on loan with Galatasaray from Napoli and has already been linked with a big money move this summer. The Nigeria international scored 37 goals during his loan stint, and reports in recent days have claimed he is close to completing a return to the Turkish giants. Despite this, United are still being mentioned as a potential destination for Osimhen as they look to sign a new striker this summer. Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee are the current centre-forwards in the squad, and any striker signing would likely see their respective futures at Old Trafford cast into doubt. It remains to be seen if United have a genuine chance of signing Osimhen this summer, with reports suggesting a €75 million, £65 million, release clause in his contract at Napoli would be enough to trigger a departure. And if Ruben Amorim's side were to bring Osimhen to Old Trafford, they may be faced with a dilemma in a few months' time. United will have a busy season of Premier League football ahead of them, particularly over the festive period. Across December and January, they will face several important matches in the top flight with the potential for more in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. However, at the same time as these matches, the Africa Cup of Nations will also be taking place. Osimhen is highly likely to feature at the tournament for Nigeria, which will take place from December 21st up to January as things stand. United have 6 Premier League fixtures that will likely be affected by the tournament, beginning with a clash against Aston Villa on December 20th, the day before AFCON is scheduled to start. Amorim's side will also face Newcastle, Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, and Manchester City while AFCON takes place, which could all be matches Osimhen would miss if Nigeria were to progress to the final. The Reds will likely be without Bryan Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Andre Onana to name but a few while the tournament takes place. Manchester United have been linked with a summer move for Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins, with Ruben Amorim's side in need of a new number 9. Aston Villa striker Ollie Watkins continues to be linked with Manchester United this summer. Ruben Amorim's side are in the market for a new number 9, and the Villa forward is reportedly among those on the club's shortlist. Watkins, 29, signed for Villa in a £33 million deal from Brentford in September 2020. Since then, he has established himself as one of the top attackers in English football, scoring 87 goals and adding 42 assists in 223 matches. However, Watkins could leave Villa in the summer transfer window. He was reportedly left frustrated after Marcus Rashford nudged him down the pecking order and was second choice for some important matches in April, including the 2-legged Champions League quarter-final against Paris Saint-Germain, which has increased speculation about a possible exit. Turning 30 in December, Watkins might be a little bit older than some of the other names mentioned for the striker position, including Victor Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres. But he is a proven Premier League goalscorer, and that could put him in his favour. Watkins, who is valued at around £60 million, has 3 years left on his contract at Villa Park. The Athletic's David Ornstein has reported that United may have held some inquiries with the players' camp, though was unsure whether that has gone straight to Villa. Ornstein said on the Athletic's YouTube channel, Ollie Watkins, as reported by our colleague Laurie Whitwell, is among those on Manchester United's recruitment list. I'd be surprised if he wasn't on the recruitment list of top clubs. He's such a good striker and a good lad, and they've maybe held some inquiries with his camp. I'm not sure if that's gone to Villa directly. From my conversations with Villa, they see themselves as having no intention to part with Ollie Watkins. They want him to continue with him up front for them. The Athletic's Laurie Whitwell has recently reported that any move for Watkins is based on Rasmus Højlund's future, with Inter Milan thought to be exploring the possibility of a permanent move for the ex-Atalanta man. I do think it is linked to Rasmus Højlund's future, Ollie Watkins links, if he goes, Whitwell said. I'm speaking to people, and that's perhaps more likely than not at this stage. Even a sale is more likely than a loan. We'll see how it develops, but Inter are there firmly. If he goes, I can't see how United can't replace him. They would need an option, and Ollie Watkins, to my knowledge, is one of those options.